So, after telling y'all what happened 2 weeks ago with the whole tooth situation, there's an update. And as part of that update, that is what a part of this section of the stream, real quick, is going to be about. Everybody always says nobody taught them nothing when they was in school. Their parents ain't tell them nothing about how to deal with certain things. Oh, I looked up about that $50. What? But everybody says like, why did they teach me about taxes in school? Why did they teach me about insurance in school? Why didn't they teach? Why did my parents tell me nothing about it? Here's the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and teach you real quick, real quick. So as y'all know, I had to go and deal with that whole situation. I told you the outcome of it that day, and yesterday I actually went and was getting everything checked out and figured out where we were gonna go from there. So at the end of the day, it came down to talking to the dentist, and he was just like, "Listen, listen. I know you were quite upset that, and I was that first day. I was irritated beyond irritated is not even the right word. I'm trying to keep it a little FF today, I guess. I don't know, for a second at least, family friendly. But I was pissed off to say the least. This to say the least. I was in so much pain. I told y'all it was driving me crazy. But he went ahead and told me everything, and he's like, "Listen, why don't we go ahead and not rip it out like you said, and let me take a look, and we can more than likely we'll save it and do a root canal." And I'm like, all right, run the fade. If we can do that, let's do it because that is an important, that's an important area to have all your teeth. Again, it's where like most of your eating goes on and everything else. So we went through. We started the root canal process. I have to go back like four at most five more times to get everything all completed and done. Luckily, like as of right now, he doesn't see any microfractures or anything. If there's microfractures, it's going to be a problem, and we might have to go a different route with it. But at the end of the day, I'm going ahead and I'm using my insurance. Now, here's the thing. I want to give y'all a little bit of a breakdown and an understanding on what insurance is, and this is even for the grown folks out there, because it surprises me, you know, how many individuals who are grown as hell and really don't understand. No, no, sir, absolutely not. Not this one. Not the. We got perfect damn teeth. I just had to go ahead and crack, not crack it, just crack it, but almost split that bitch. Like it is wild. What I did, and I don't even know what I forget what it was that I was eating that day. Nothing like this should have happened. But anyway, so the differences between the U.S. and Japan. And I said before that they lied to y'all as far as this whole issue that they have with social health care and different stuff like that. It is a complete lie the way that the U.S. runs its healthcare system. Let me give you a breakdown. Japan uses a socialized form of healthcare. All right. Some people like to call it universal healthcare. There's a slight difference depending on the country and everything else as to where you are, how it actually functions. But just to give you uh, the basics here, if you work for it, there's private and then there's company. If you work for a company, all right, you're paying into your insurance like about 10% of your monthly income. But the company actually covers 50% of that, which means all that comes out of your paycheck is 5%. Now let's keep good round numbers here, all right? So let's say that you had 100,000 yen, which it's more people make most people make more than that, definitely. But let's say it's 100,000 yen a month, which means that 10% of that is coming out as a whole, but 5% is paid by the company, 5% is paid by you. That means that only 5,000 yen comes out of your paycheck, all right? What does that equate to as far as US dollars? Let's just say it's about 35 US dollars, all right? If you are a student, different things like that, it's actually slightly less than that. But that's the basics. The US, that's a whole different situation. And the insurance here covers health and dental. The US does not. You get health and then you have to buy dental. Dental insurance in America is not the same, when it comes down to being like it's not the same as your health insurance. Dental insurance is more so a coupon. Said coupon requires that you have paid fully into your dental premiums throughout an entire year, and you will get back 1,000, maybe 1,500 on whatever dental work that you have done. Anything that exceeds that amount, and that's if you're lucky, anything that exceeds that amount, you pay out of pocket. All right. Here, it's just flat out. Listen, these are prices. That's the end of it. I told you guys that first trip because I was just like I didn't feel like doing all the paperwork, everything else. I was like I'm just paying out of pocket, and it really came up to nothing to get that work done. Now let me tell you what it's going to cost me at the end of the day. I already know what the cost is going to be. I'm going to give you my insurance cost versus my out-of-pocket cost, and still compare that to the cost of what it would cost in the U.S. I'm having a root canal done, one tooth, and it's in the far back. It's not a wisdom tooth, but it's in the far back. Typically, especially in the States, you are paying more for that far back tooth versus a front facing tooth or side front tooth. This is crazy, all right? If I paid out of pocket here, if I paid out of pocket, I'm just going to equate it straight to US dollars, all right? US dollars, I would be spending somewhere between 290 at max 350 US dollars. Again, this is out of pocket to have this entire thing done. This is 4, maybe 5 trips to see the dentist and have the work done. The cap, everything, all done. That's the cost between 290 and $350 out of pocket. Now, with my insurance, however, with yeah, with my insurance, this whole thing cost me 100, and it cost me 140 to 158. So let's say 140 to $160. That is it. That's all. In the States, no matter the fuck what, you are paying no less than a rack. More than likely that 1,500 mark, and it can go up from there. And if I went with a specialized, like with a specialized cap and everything else, I'm still clear by over $1,000 versus what it would cost in the States. Because in the States, insurance is a fucking ripoff. That is health insurance and dental insurance. The way insurance works here is you're not going to run into a situation where a family has someone who has cancer or a long hospital stay or anything of that nature, some form of an emergency, and end up going broke because of it. There's an actual joke here amongst a lot of people. It says for a Japanese person to go to America, you better not get sick or your life is ruined. It is not a joke though. That shit is real. It's real. So imagine the fact that the wealthiest country in the world, actually says we can't set anything up to make sure our people have a better form of health care than what they're actually getting right now. Private equity companies own most of the dental offices that you guys go to. 90% of the dental offices in America are owned by private equity companies. They don't give a damn. It's just like, how much bread can I make? And what's crazy about it is that for as much money as they make, they still use trash products in order to deal with your mouth. Imagine, yo, imagine getting a tooth fixed or having a root canal or getting a cap or getting a replacement tooth, and that tooth that gets put in your mouth because of where it came from, because of the processes that it went through, had fecal matter on it. That's shit. For those of you that don't understand what that word means, that is shit in your mouth. Like that takes a whole different approach to that terminology. But that's what it is. So I kind of just wanted to give y'all that breakdown, what the comparison is and everything else. It's drastic. It's absolutely drastic for service that, I mean, honestly, it could be considered pristine service. And the other part of it is, in the States, you're actually locked into a network of specific places, doctors and different things like that, that you can go to. You have no choice. You have to stay within this network, and even in order to even be covered or insured during whatever process you're going through. Here, the choice is yours. Like, that's why did that sound like an ad? Like, that's here. The choice is yours. Like, it's just the fact of the matter. You can go to any facility, whatever, the one that you trust the most, in order to get whatever the work is that you need done to get it done. So yeah, that's just a breakdown of the difference between insurance in the States versus here in Japan. And it's fundamentally like just insane how the level of care that's given, and there's a social safety net for the elderly and children as well here, which I think is very much so fair, because it goes back to that old adage amongst the Japanese in the first place, where the elderly worked in order for your betterment, so let's make sure that they're taken care of. And that's just handed down over and over and over again throughout the generations. So, yeah, uh, as far as getting insurance and things like that for you guys in the States, it works the same. I mean, they've taken away a lot of things that were kind of put in place that are a great deal better, or that were a great deal better as far as the cost and things like that. But now you're kind of screwed all over again, back in a situation where it goes back to the old Wild West of insurance. And I mean, you can always get insurance through whatever company you work for, but of course they've cut back on people's hours and different things like that, taking them away from being full-time employees where they were getting insurance offered to them. So now it's just primarily private insurance, or you have to go through something like what's it called? Like state health insurance, which I'm just like, listen, here's the bottom line to it. I'm gonna be real with you. When it comes down to being there in the States, if you don't make the bread, you can't go out and buy private insurance. Take that shit. Take whatever the state has to offer you. Take it and run with it, because you never know when some kind of emergency will come up. And I'm telling you right now, you don't want that bill out of pocket. I told y'all how much it cost me for the night that I got into that huge accident and died twice in the night, and they brought my ass back to the point where I was just like, let me go, cuz I'm not paying that bullshit. Like, ain't no way. The amount of money they were charging, I was like, I didn't ask y'all to bring me back on this one, cuz like, this is on you. This is on you. And I sure enough went ahead and swapped it. I was like, state, Axis, pay that, pay that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Ain't no way. And there's no way, there's no reason that I believe that anyone should have to go throughout life and worry about the fact of, going broke or straight up being bankrupt, all because you had a emergency, a life-threatening emergency. That's no way to fucking live at the end of the day. Paying off a debt that technically, well, that's unrealistic and technically shouldn't even exist if the healthcare system was set up in a better way for people. But yeah, so that's the difference between Japanese healthcare and American healthcare. And I mean, I spoke about it specifically on the dental side of it, but again, that's what I'm going through right now. And the fact is, the dental is covered in our healthcare. Whereas in the States, you got to go through two completely separate sort of situations in order to be covered. And one of them will screw you over. And it's the one that really shouldn't. It's the dental one. They will mm, all up in you, for real, for real. But that's all on that. Feel free to go ahead and let me know anything that you guys to say on that whole situation. If you're watching it later, hop in the comments or whatever. Say that. If you got something to say now, hop in the chat. And by the way, everybody that's on, thanks a million for being on both on YouTube and on Twitch. If you are on YouTube, feel free to, of course, hop in the chat and definitely subscribe. If you're on Twitch, give a follow, subscribe, hop in the chat, all that good stuff. Next up, there's nothing I can show you on this one. I think we've all heard and maybe even seen. I mean, I haven't seen them. Something in my eye. I haven't seen those leaks that are going around for GTA